as we go towards we're on the second Sunday of Advent. And what did I tell you? I think Advent means coming, or I love celebrating just that idea that we're getting towards our own birth of the new child within us. So as we do this, I have we're going to go back to Enlightened Khan's beautiful poem as our invocation for today. Let thy wish become my desire. Let thy will become my deed. Let thy word become my speech, beloved, and thy love become my creed. Let my plant bring forth thy flowers. Let my fruit produce thy seed. Let my heart become thy lute, beloved, and my body thy flute of reed. And below is the song we were singing, Disclose to Us Thy Divine Light, which is hidden in our souls. And that is also from Hazrat Inayat Khan. And the words, Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor is the light, and the light that is all around. And Munawir is really the light that has been embodied, that is within us, which is hidden in our souls. So we're going to look at the two cards of the 9, which is traditionally called the Hermit, in which Ayeta, I can't even remember her name, Ayeta Hussein, who did the Sufi Tarot, she calls it the Dervish, which is a very apt name for a Sufi interpretation. But so here we'll start with the Dervish. The Dervish is really this beautiful card that is, you can see it's the connection to the light within. And that is very much portrayed by almost every hermit card is holding a lantern, really searching, looking, as that song says, disclose to us thy divine light. It's like finding that light within. Where is that light? And so in each of the hermit cards, there's that preponderance of really using that light to go within and connect with our own guidance. And so in the Dervish, the way that this Dervish does it is to really go into this very remote area, which is very traditional as an ascetic. And a matter of fact, when I looked at this card, it looks like there's nothing below him. Like the rock kind of juts out into nothingness. You don't see, it's not connected to anything physical, and yet he's being supported out on this rock, jutting out with only a small connection that shines through into the light. And there's so much beautiful sparkling light that's emanating towards him, but also from his own hands. If you look at it, he has like almost his own little flame coming out of the tips of his fingers. I love that. Maria Rahima looking very close. That's what I have to do. So that's the Dervish. And then the Hermit card, which has been made by Juan Marcos, another person in our community here, is, I think he's so aproposly looking down at the labyrinth and this process of moving inside. To me, the labyrinth goes from the outside of the world to the very, very circle in the very center, where you go into that place of, I'd say it's really symbolic of going into this path of the hermit or the dervish, taking yourself from the outside world through all the labyrinthine ways that it takes to say goodbye to all the things in the world, all the things that are going on in our minds, to find some kind of solace and stillness to be able to come into that place of connecting with the inner guidance, high self. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, for me, I mean, as you point out, the dervishes or the hermit has always been a card that's attracted part of me, but it's that place in each of us that really wants to go towards the inner light, that really wants to go towards the God within, that really wants to go towards the mystery that dwells within each of us. And it's almost like there's the infinity, there's the nothingness below the dervish, and here's the light above the dervish. And, you know, Juan Marcos, it is so beautiful. It's almost like the dervish there in that cave is in the center of the labyrinth. For those of us who've walked the labyrinth, you get into that center place, but it takes so much work and effort to clear away the outer life. And then once you clear away the outer life, as those of us who know, who do our inner work, there's so many different parts and selves and so much going on to get them to relax so that we can drop into that center and really connect with source. But this card for me represents that energy, that self in each of us that really wants to move towards the inner life, away from the the intoxication of the outer world. Yeah. And
it's the 9, which is really is coming into that fullness of not yet the 10, but we're nearing the completion of a journey, and part of what the dervish or the hermit is calling us to is to go inside as we are completing that. Take it inside, really find what is for us to understand, or where do we go at this time. So, letting go of the card, and let's begin that process of, if we can all like set our intention to just create some space for us today and in this time together of being able to.
And this moment is actually a dervish moment. We're all gathered here, we're into the induction and go so work, and we all have our little caves. So we're embodying the dervish right now.
Well, actually, we're going to create a little bit more space
for the dervish.
So in a way, you're looking where we might be a little bit on the outside of the labyrinth
at the moment, but we're in the dervish journey this morning, this afternoon, this evening.
So we may not be totally in the center yet. I don't know about you, but sometimes all these different selves are speaking to me in the morning about what I need to do, or who else is calling me or texting me or telling me what I have on the agenda for today. So we're going to start with really this process of sweeping out of, and I love that song, we're not going to sing it right now, sweep out the chambers of your heart. So we're going to sweep, and that's part of how we're going to begin. So let's do the water breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, to really sweep things out. And I'd like to just start with just that gentle sweeping. You can use your hands to really just really imagine you're just sweeping things away. You're sweeping them to the right, you're sweeping them to the left. You're making room and space. And when thoughts come up, just ask them, oh, you have a place over there in the room. We're creating some space right now for ourselves. Sweep in front, sweep behind, so that you're really just creating this wonderful space all around you. And then begin to sweep down your chest. You can go up to your head and sweep down your whole head, your throat. Again, coming down when you're ready, your chest as you're breathing deep, rich, full breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. way down through your belly, your hips, your legs. Sweep it all down. And then letting your feet flick off anything that isn't needed there. Just flick them off, flick off anything in the room, making some space again. As you clear it out. Make sure you flick it out to the sides and to the back too, so because you're creating space with this flicking with your foot. You're making your space in the room. Your cave. And then flick your hips a little bit. Let your hips really make some motions to the right and the left and the front and the back, and you're just creating this space again. And then letting yourself let your flick happen a little bit up in your chest. Flicking it front and back and to the side. You're just imagining if there's anything that's sticking on you, of all these things you have to do or places you need to attend to. You're just asking them to step aside. You're making room in your body. You're flicking your shoulders of all those responsibilities. And your hands and your arms. Flick them out. Make sure you do it in every direction as you flick those arms, making sure you have the space that you need to go within. And then your head, let it flick around. And your whole body, anything, creating that space all around you. I'm going to flick my chair back. Flick back anything that's a little bit in the way for you. Good. And then coming back and just beginning now to walk. And we're going to walk in a little circle if you can, and wherever your space is, just create a little tiny circle to walk. And we're walking, and we're going to breathe for 4 steps in and for 4 steps out. We have to walk faster to do that. You could say we're moving towards creating that labyrinth to go into the very center of it. Now we're going to start to slow down the walking a little bit, slow down our breath, so that we're walking 2 steps for every breath in, 2 steps for every breath out. And let your eyes just be really gentle, coming down to the floor, just letting yourself see so you don't run into anything, but not having to take in the room. can still use the water breath if you'd like, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And on this journey towards the center of our being, towards this light within, we're going to now take one step for each breath in, one step for each breath out. So we're going to have to slow down our steps. And slowly letting yourself come to a place where you know you're nearing that center of the labyrinth, where you can just stop. And then letting yourself just, as you find that place, you can just gently move back and forth from one foot to the other, just feeling yourself swaying. And you can sway, and as you sway, you're also breathing one breath in for each sway. Letting yourself come down more and more slowly. You can put your hands on your belly if that feels good. And then coming into the middle place in between that swaying. And letting your hands just drop to your sides. Now we're going to let the light really penetrate. So imagining that kind of like the dervish in the picture, only in this particular form of the dervish, not only does the dervish have light coming from above, but it has also light coming from below. So the light's coming from the center of the earth, and I want you to imagine you're just pulling it up gently as you breathe in, through your legs, all the way up to your womb basket. You can hold that area, and then you just breathe out into your whole body. And we're going to change our breath to the fire breath as we're doing this. So we're breathing in through our mouth. Taking in that light, and then mixing it with the light that we already have right here in our bellies, in our wombs, this beautiful place that holds us. Gently pulling up that light with each breath in, pulling it through the mouth and through the imagination, through the legs, all the way to the hara, the womb, and letting it radiate all around that womb area. Maybe it feels good to just move really gently in that womb area in our hips, just gently helping it to fill, to feel the light there. Whatever helps you to really get that sense of that beautiful light coming in and that light that's already there within each of your cells. And as we're doing this, we're just going to begin on that exhale to just sing Ya Noor, Ya Munawir, which is the light that is just present all the time. Ya Noor, and Munawir, the light that is embodied within. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. And one more time, let's sway. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. And now we're going to let the light come in through the crown chakra and through the third eye. Breathing it in through the mouth. Feeling the light in our heads and our faces. And letting it on the exhale just really radiate to every single part of our brains. All of our senses. Bringing it in from the skies, from the heavens, from the stars. We are stardust anyway. Just really connecting with that part of ourselves. You can move your head a little bit to just really let yourself feel that light coming in, that light that's there. And now on the exhale, we'll add Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
Ya Munawir.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. One more time with the head. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. And then letting it come down this time through the crown chakra and the third eye all the way down into the throat. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Letting it radiate all the way down. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. And one more time in this way. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. back down to your feet, bringing it in through the feet again, all the way up this time to your solar plexus.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
One more time.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
Now letting yourself bring it from below and from above all the way into the heart.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
Filling up the whole body and the exhale.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
With this light that is here, that's already inside. And that can come from the outside.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
From above, from below, from within.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
You can let yourself move as it feels right with the light, or not.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
Whatever helps your body to feel that light.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
And one more time.
Ya Noor, Ya Munawir.
And imagine that you really, if we had it fully together, we could just get our chair underneath our bottom right now, but we're willing that that place of support is just right there beneath us as we very gently walk to it. And just bringing this practice before we go into the soul work part, bringing this practice into a sitting position of just really letting ourselves feel that energy that's coming from below, from above, from within, right into our heart space, creating space in our hearts. So breathing in, we breathe in the energy, and then we really create space in our hearts on that exhale. Light and space. To go within. Breathing whatever breath feels right to really bring that light in and then create that space. To remember that light is there and it is outside of us. all one.
So letting your breath just continue a nice, rich, full inhalation and a nice, rich, full exhalation, and in and out of the sacred space of your heart. You can imagine your heart, chest plate, soft and porous, as this breath of light and love just flows in and out of your heart. You get lost, you can always breathe in Ya Noor, and you can breathe back Ya Munawir. Taking a moment, really deepening with each breath as we charge, bringing light in, and each breath as we release, let go of anything ready to be released. But we'll spend a few breaths just breathing in and out, bringing our awareness to the sacred space of our hearts and bringing light there, and just letting all the different selves know that there's nothing to do and nowhere to go right now, but drop more deeply into our hearts. Breathing in the light from outside into our hearts and letting the light inside radiate back out into the world. You can first let it fill you, and as you fill with light, letting it overflow. And as you continue to do this, just listening to these words. The sun world, we invoke the one whose body is the cosmos of the galaxies and our own bodies, whose mind courses through our thinking and whose ecstasy arouses our acts of glorification, whose personality is customized as our personalities, whose presence is always here, whose consciousness is focalized as our consciousness, and whose reality is beyond our thinking mind. And so as you continue to deepen into your hearts, just noticing the sacred space of your heart, what form it is in today. Perhaps you just feel being deep in your heart and have that physical, energetic sense of resting in your heart. Perhaps it's a place you visited, you see or hear or touch or feel or smell or taste. Perhaps a place from a dream. But as you're with the sacred space of your heart, allow more and more light to infuse it today. Knowing that everything on this imaginal realm is made of, comes from light. And if cells come up, inviting them to join you or to just rest or step aside, they can find a place in the heart to rest, to do whatever they need to do, or just join you with this breath in and out, celebrating the sacred space of your heart. And if nothing happens or comes, just allowing that critic to step aside, just holding the intention to drop into your heart. As you rest in your heart, when you're ready, using my voice as a guide, you may find your guidance moves you at a different rhythm, faster or slower. But I invite you with all love and all respect to invite High Self into your heart for a time of communion, a time of guidance, a time of dialogue, and just opening, beginning with communion, breathing in the light and love and nourishment from High Self, and breathing back love and gratitude, whether you see or feel or just imagine this exchange, inhaling in love and light, breathing back love and gratitude. Let that light nourish and renew every cell in your body and touch every self that's open, that wants that light. And as we continue to bring our awareness into our hearts, into communion with High Self, really opening with High Self to any guidance on how to activate the energy of the dervish that dwells within each of us, how to clear away what we need to in our outer lives, so that at times we can find, whether it's for a few moments or an hour or taking a day of retreat or longer, how we can find those moments where, like the dervish, the hermit, we can clear that space. We can go to the center of the labyrinth and open to the vastness underneath, and open to the light that flows within, through, and infuses everything. When you're ready, you can, with all love and respect, call upon your inner dervish, this part of you that longs for the inner life, that longs for those times to create sacred space in different ways in your lives. But just calling with love and respect this inner dervish that dwells within each of us, and just listen and open, befriend. Just be with this inner dervish and just really honor their presence and how they've taken you to your inner life time and time again, and thanking them, opening to them, and asking for their forgiveness when we don't listen to their inner call. That opening for a time of communion and dialogue with your dervish about who they are, how to work together more and more deeply. And you can continue with your dervish if you wish, but inviting them to be with you with high self. And as we listen to the inner call, we know that there are those selves who that may be hard or resist or just get distracted or busy. But just calling in one of those selves that you can open and get to know more deeply this morning, so that we can listen to the difficulties you have with taking that time and space to go into your inner life. So whichever one this is, feel this one in your body, the way that they pull you away or distract or don't believe or doubt or whatever. Welcome one of these into your heart. Really begin to just notice them. Maybe they're active right now, or you'd wanted to sit a little bit or do a dance or a chant the other day and you got distracted. Calling this one in, letting this one know you want to get to know him, her, they, them. First of all, just feeling, if you can, this one in your body. Just opening a little, what sensations, images, if there's an image of this one, the feelings that this one has, perhaps of impatience or anxiety, or not okay to rest or go in. And the thoughts, the beliefs, the behaviors of this one. Really opening to bringing love and respect and curiosity to this one. Just open for a few minutes to get to know whatever you wish to share. We'd like to hear from you what your purpose is, what your fears are, what this distraction or moving away is. We want to know about this energy in you. In any way we can help you. And with love and respect, we invite this one to join in the breath of unity with you, high self, with your dervish self. Just taking a few moments to breathe together. Just opening to any other communication that wishes to happen. And then as we're ready, we'll just slowly bring our soul work to a close for today. And we can breathe down with Ya Noor, breathing all the light, just dissolving into the field of light. And as we come up in Munawir, we can let that light radiate out into the world and to each other. Taking a breath. Ya Noor, Ya Munawir. And just taking a moment or two to rest, to reflect on your journey since you joined this morning, being that dervish, clearing that space, going into the cave or the center of the labyrinth, going into our hearts, communing with the light. Just any reflections, like a dream, what you notice or remember, and you can rest and sit and do that. You can stretch and move, or you could jot down and make a few notes. Whatever allows you to integrate